Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about shrimp breeding, but specifically how we can go about breeding hundreds, if not thousands of red cherry shrimp in a relatively short space of time. So for the last few years, a sizable part of my monthly income has come from breeding and selling red cherry shrimp. First piece of advice for anyone looking to breed lots of red cherry shrimp is to set up an environment specifically for breeding the shrimp. Red cherry shrimp are incredibly hardy and can live in a wide range of water parameters. But what they really want is stability. In my experience, it's far better to strive for a shrimp tank that has stable water parameters than one that has perfect water parameters. I don't think it does anybody any good if you spend hour after hour trying to get the perfect level of GH, the perfect KH, the perfect level of TDS. Red cherry shrimp, as I say, can live in such a wide range of parameters, but what they really want is for those parameters to be stable. Now, to maintain those stable water parameters, it might actually mean doing fewer water changes than you might normally. Whilst I rarely test my tanks for GH or KH or measure the TDS, I do test my shrimp tanks for nitrates. Providing the nitrates aren't going too high, then maybe consider not doing a water change in the pursuit of keeping the water parameters stable. Adding live plants to the shrimp tank can also help keep the water parameters stable. Personally, I favour a large clump of Java moss in every single shrimp breeding tank I have. Live plants like Java moss actually remove nitrates from the water, and they also absorb some heavy metals that can prove toxic to shrimp. So once we have an environment that is stable for our shrimp, the next most important factor when it comes to breeding shrimp in large numbers is to feed them a good quality diet. As many of you will know, I favour feeding my shrimp Repashy gel food. Repashy gel food is so good for shrimp. It holds up well in the water, it's made from fabulous ingredients, and as you can see, when you plop a cube into the water, the shrimp simply swarm all over it, and they can feed on Repashy gel food for many hours. I also favour feeding my red cherry shrimp high protein foods like frozen bloodworm or brine shrimp or Daphnia. Red cherry shrimp do need protein in their diet. They need protein to grow, and most importantly, the females need protein to produce eggs. The more eggs the female can produce, the more baby red cherry shrimp you will end up with. The other thing to bear in mind when it comes to breeding shrimp in large numbers is they often need more food than people realise. Whilst red cherry shrimp make a great cleanup crew and they are essentially scavengers, to breed them in large numbers we do need to make sure we provide them with sufficient food. If you hope to breed your shrimp in large numbers but you expect them to survive just off of leftover fish food or the occasional algae wafer, the colony simply won't reproduce quickly enough for you. Now, my next tip for creating a large colony of red cherry shrimp really plays into the first two tips, because it is allow algae to grow in your tank. Now, let's be honest, we all watch videos on YouTube and see pictures on the internet of people with the most stunning planted aquariums with not a speck of algae in sight. But they should be thought of as show aquariums. Those aren't the kind of aquariums where we look to reproduce shrimp in large numbers. In truth, algae is incredibly beneficial to a shrimp tank. Not only does the algae absorb waste from the water, much like plants do, but it also provides a constant feeding ground where the shrimp can basically eat non-stop day and night. Shrimp not only eat microscopic particles of algae, but they eat the biofilm that develops on the algae. And the biofilm is essentially a mixture of bacteria and algae and microscopic crustaceans that form on many surfaces in our aquariums, and shrimp love to feed on biofilm. In my own shrimp breeding tanks, I welcome algae. Yes, I wipe it from the front pane of glass that I want to look into to be able to see my shrimp, but I never touch it on the side panels, the back panels, the rocks, wherever else it might form. I welcome it. I can almost guarantee you, if you allow algae to form in your shrimp breeding tanks, you will produce more shrimp than you would do if you keep an aquarium without any algae in it whatsoever. In a similar vein, adding botanicals such as catappa leaves, oak leaves or beech leaves will help create the perfect environment for biofilm to develop. Red cherry shrimp don't actually eat the leaves themselves, but rather they consume the bacteria that grows on the leaf as it decays in the water. Much like with allowing algae to grow, having leaves in your shrimp breeding tanks breaking down gives the shrimp somewhere to feed constantly, day and night. In my experience, to produce red cherry shrimp in large quantities, we need to provide them a stable environment to live in, feed them high quality foods and plenty of it, and create the perfect environment for biofilm to develop. I've always found red cherry shrimp reproduce far more quickly when they have access to biofilm. As mentioned previously, one of the best ways to produce biofilm in your aquarium is to grow Java moss. If you want to know how to produce lots of Java moss, why not check out the video linked on screen. Thanks for watching.